If you've been injured before, you have heard the term RICE. Rest, ice, compress, elevate. And it's wrong. It's completely wrong. It actually makes injuries last a whole lot longer. And even the doctor that created it, he's like, hey, I messed up. My bad. I gave all of you guys bad advice. And even though he said that quite a while back now, everybody's still doing it. But why? Well, today we're going to focus on the R part of it, which is rest, and you're going to learn how rest is actually keeping you injured and making you feel pain for a whole lot longer than you actually should. Okay, so let's talk about what happens when you actually rest after an injury. There's going to be two sides to this. One is going to be the psychological side, which is your brain is like, hey, whatever you just did right there, stop what you're doing because it's not good for us. And when you start resting, you're like, cool, man, I'm not going to do that again because it hurt. I'm causing some sort of damage. You're getting that input and it's like, okay, we're going to stop doing that. That's not necessarily the right thing to do, but we'll cover that after. Secondly, let's talk about the physical aspect of what's going on when you actually rest after an injury. What you're actually doing is you're making your body a lot more stiff and tight. There's a phrase that's becoming a lot more common now, which is motion is lotion, and it is just that. The more you move your body, your joints and everything, the more lubricated they become, the more elastic they become, and you keep your body moving and loose. But when you rest after an injury, there's going to be an inflammatory response in that area. So there's going to be a lot of blood going in there. It's going to get swollen, like if you stubbed your thumb or you sprained your wrist or whatever, or your ankle, and things start to get very swollen and very, very stiff. And the longer it stays like that and the longer it stays stiff, the harder it's going to be to move it when that swelling goes away. And since it's difficult to move it, going back to the psychological side of this, as soon as you move, it's gonna be like, hey, that's tight, that's similar to pain, stop that. And then you're gonna be like, whoa, okay, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. And then eventually you develop a little limp, and then it becomes normal, and then all these other cascading effects happen in your body because you didn't keep yourself moving and you didn't stretch the injury out. So let's go back to the psychological aspect of this. Our brain works on just all these little electrical impulses that are going everywhere, giving us feedbacks of, it's hot right now in this garage, I'm touching this metal thing, I'm touching my forehead now, and all those things. But the same thing goes for pain. And there's this thing known as the Hebbian theory, which is basically that neurons that fire together, wire together. This is fundamental for just learning motor patterns and just neuroplasticity and being able to learn things. What happens is, if you rest all the time after an injury, your body starts learning that, hey, that movement hurt me. Okay, and I'm resting, so I'm not learning that I can move through the pain and I can actually overcome this. So anytime that injury happens, I become more sensitive to the injury. I become more sensitive to the pain. Even if the injury was not as bad as it was the first time, you're so hypersensitive because those neural connections have been happening so many times over and over and over that now you're just an extremely sensitive person, in a sense, to these certain pain inputs. And now it's just every little tiny touch just sets you off now. And that's not good. So then what should you do the next time that you get hurt? And this is going to go whether you rolled your ankle playing basketball or you just hurt your back because you were sitting in a weird, awkward position for 20 minutes and then you happen to just get up a little bit too quick and your back gives out. You gotta move as much as you possibly can within your pain tolerances. You also don't want to move to a point where you're going to just hurt yourself even more, because too much movement can be bad depending on whatever's going on. So let's say it's your back and you try to get up and you get stuck and it hurts really bad and you have to brace yourself and you're like, this hurts a lot. What you do is you just slowly start taking a few deep breaths and you start relaxing yourself. And then you think to yourself, like, okay, this hurt really bad. But what if I maybe stick my leg back out, I pull my shoulder blades back and I just sit here? Does this still hurt? No. Okay, well, I was able to move a couple inches over. Can I stand up like this now? Okay, well, maybe I got to brace myself a little bit more, but and then you slowly start working through whatever it is that's happening. Again, this goes for anything. If you rolled your ankle, you just grab your leg and you slowly start doing some circles and you within whatever you can do with your pain tolerance, and you slowly move and you get that joint moving as much as possible. Maybe you can't run on it because you just sprained it, but you could do some circles. And maybe after a few minutes or hours, who knows, maybe you can actually put weight on it. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, let me walk. And as I walk, let me rotate that ankle and let me be careful with this. But the goal is that you keep your body moving, because you do not want to train your mind that this is a permanent thing and this pain is going to be forever and I need to become hypersensitive to it. That is the last thing that we want. We want to build strong, resilient bodies. And a big part of that is going to be working on this and keeping your body moving. So if you like this video, like it, comment down below what other stuff you want to hear about. Again, liking, commenting, subscribing is free, and I want to provide as much free information to you guys, and I will not know how I can help you guys if you don't comment down below and let me know what you guys need to learn. So see you guys soon, and thank you.